Welcome to the session, 5 self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back from designing an event, conference, or trade show that can be everything it can be for you, your organization, and your audience. My name's Neal. I'm the founder of 360 Live Media, and I want to pose a question and then over the next 6 minutes, lay out 5 key points that unpacks that question. And the question is, are these 5 self-limiting beliefs holding you back from taking your 2022 event to the highest possible level of performance, relevant, economic prosperity, and frankly, to impact and alter the positive outcomes that you seek to achieve for your organization and your audience? Self-limiting beliefs are something that we all have built up over the years. We've been told by others, and we've even told ourselves at times, there are things that are keeping us back from achieving the level of success, prosperity, life goals that we might be seeking. And I want to address these 5 points as it relates to meetings and events. So let me refer to a couple of notes that I wrote here. And I want to start off with self-limiting belief number 1, which is we're already doing almost everything we can to attract our audience, and our event really has hit a point of kind of diminishing returns. And the 3 points I'd like to share with you under that self-limiting belief. Number 1, the concept of better sameness. Better sameness is a plague that holds back meeting planners, conference designers, et cetera, CEOs, all of us. And better sameness is really just pursuing an incremental set of steps every year, but essentially built off the same model. You might have heard someone say they have 20 years of experience. Often that's 1 year of experience repeated 20 times. And so better sameness is one of the factors that contributes to this notion of a self-limiting belief around growth. Number 2, structure follows strategy. Structure follows strategy. So the structure of your event, it has to be changed based on a new strategy, which is aligned to a new ambition. New ambition, new vision, new strategy produces a new structure that allows your event to grow. The next self-limiting question I'm going to pose is, we don't have the financial resources or the staff to make the changes we'd like. That's a self-limiting belief. And frankly, a lot of that today, when this is being recorded, is true. So there's 3 points I'd like to make on that one. The first is something called the COI, the cost of an action. Most of you know what an ROI is, return on investment. The COI is the cost of an action. And what I will tell you is by doing nothing or by doing very little, you are limiting the opportunity for you to grow, and not having resources, not having dollars in your budget to do some of the things you'd like to do for 2022 shouldn't be a factor that holds you back. I would say there's 2 things you can do. One is think about getting investors, sponsors, exhibitors, underwriters who are willing to invest in your event for a percentage of the gain. That's one thing I would encourage you to do. Not time to go into that in detail right now. And the second is consider a loan or outside investment or tapping into your reserves, because you're going to have to spend money to make money next year, and it's going to require some creative financing and a new way of thinking about how you grow your event. Self-limiting belief number 3, we're a nonprofit and we shouldn't really be striving to achieve a profit. And I will tell you a couple of things. Number 1, and you've heard some of these cliches before, no money, no mission. So you do need to generate a positive operating income, both to reinvest back in your event, to subsidize the cost of the event, maybe to offer scholarships to young emerging leaders who you want to bring to your event. So profit is a good thing. Profit is a good measure, the best measure of the value that you provide to the marketplace. And I would really encourage you to think like a commercial enterprise, not a nonprofit, when you're thinking about building your budget, your P&L, and trying to maximize the profit of your event. It's a good thing, and a nonprofit status really is just a tax strategy, not a business strategy. So profit is good, operating income is good, and we have to think about ways to generate more operating income to the bottom line for 22. Self-limiting belief number 4, our event audience likes what we do, the surveys are very positive, and we don't really know what to change. So what I will tell you, and you know this, is that most people who complete surveys are either really happy or really mad. So you can't really take surveys as good leading indicators. It's almost like politics. You've got extreme right, extreme left, and they control a lot of the dialogue. It's the same thing with surveys. You really get the squeaky wheels on both sides. So what I would encourage you to do are 3 things. 1, conduct focus groups with your members, your attendees, and most importantly, non-attendees, sponsors and exhibitors who will give you good feedback about what they are looking for from your event. And I think if you do that, you'll find it'll get you farther faster than just about anything else you can do. The second thing I would encourage you to do is use a net promoter score versus a traditional event survey. Very simple question. 17 million businesses around the world have used net promoter score to evaluate satisfaction. It's a very simple question. On a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a colleague or friend? 0 through 6 are detractors, they're not fans. 9 and 10 are promoters, and 7 and 8 you throw out. It's a very simple calculation. It's one question. You can go online and there's lots written about net promoter score. I'd really encourage you to do that. And then the final self-limiting question, we are too siloed, and all of the departments responsible for our event have agendas and priorities that compete with what I'm trying to do as an event organizer. Now, this is a common problem in every organization. Every department has their own set of objectives, and oftentimes they are not aligned with yours in terms of how you're going to host your meeting. So there's 3 ways to address this. One, have a presentation prepared for your board of directors, get your CEO and CFO on board, and have a meeting where you talk about how your event can be a force multiplier for all of the other agendas inside of your organization. There isn't one association, nonprofit, professional society, or corporation I've ever worked with that can't use their meeting to greater advantage across the entire enterprise. So that's number one. Number two, if you are responsible for the meetings at your organization, my advice would be to appoint yourself or ask to be appointed the event CEO. The CEO of the event has accountability, responsibility, owns the P&L, and is frankly in charge of making decisions that impact the positive outcomes of the event. And we have a job description you can download from the 360livemedia.com website that describes what an event CEO responsibilities are. And it's something that isn't self-promotional or as self-promotional as it sounds. It's something that really makes a difference when you have someone in the organization who has that authority and discipline. And the final point I'd make is that all boats rise. When your event, conference or trade show is doing well, you're building your brand, you're building your reputation, you're increasingly more relevant, you're attracting new members, you're generating positive income to the bottom line. It's a very virtuous circle that benefits everyone across your organization. And in closing, I'd like to put a fine point on these self-limiting beliefs and just the concept of self-limiting beliefs. And one of my favorite quotes is, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And if you look at your event, and if you look at your job, and if you look at your organization through a different lens, a lens of prosperity, optimism, confidence, and frankly, ambition, I think you'll find there's so many more things that you can do to break down some of these self-limiting beliefs, to empower yourself with the energy, the enthusiasm, the confidence, and the charisma that you need to really be the champion of your event for the remainder of this year, next year, and forevermore. So I wish you great luck and success. I'm going to sign off, and we'll have other resources made available to you. So look forward to getting information about how you can download more about what I talked about, and wishing you all the best.